Sup everybody, welcome to the first, installment of 2K Saturdays. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'd know that this is a series that I used to do. It's essentially just off of the dome talking about a certain subject with some 2K footage in the background. It's a simpler video to make. It's almost like a short podcast where I can give you some thoughts on something that I maybe don't want to make a full video about, like what we're talking about today with Michael Porter Jr. potentially winning Rookie of the Year. If this is a series you're not really interested in and you only want to hear my more planned out thoughts on everything, the scripted stuff, the thumbnails are going to look pretty similar to this one. It's not going to be the white background with the white border around the player that you typically see. Those will be my normal videos, and then of course there's the My GM videos as well. I'm just trying to expand my horizons on what kind of videos that I can make in order to get as much content out as possible, because I'm really tired of college. So, with that out of the way, I wanted to talk about Michael Porter Jr. today. He had a really good first preseason game. I stayed up late to watch him play, literally as I was about to go to bed, because I'm like, I'm not gonna, stay up till 1 a.m. to watch this fucker play. They subbed him in right as I was leaving. So, came back, watched him play, almost immediately hit a really nice hesitation dribble pull-up mid-range shot, and it looks like he hasn't really lost a step. Of course, he didn't go out there and put up 20 points. I believe he had like 8 for the game, but he took good shots outside of one trailing three-pointer that I think was maybe a little too cocky, but that's the kind of player he is. But he looked really good. He hit another mid-range shot. He got a nice layup that he took off of the dribble. He got a dunk in transition. Definitely showed that he can be a pure scorer, and at his size, the whole thing about him being a big dude who is really damn good at shooting looks to be true. So, what I was wondering is, if he's given the proper opportunity, which is debatable, is it possible that MPJ could win Rookie of the Year? Of course, we need to see more from him in the preseason and more from him in the regular season for me to even come close to confident in making a prediction. Also, we need to know that he's healthy, because he hasn't played in 500-something days, I believe the commentator said when he checked in. But how would Michael fit in with Denver's system, and how is that going to impact his ability to win the Rookie of the Year award? Well, I think MPJ as a small forward probably on this team will probably also play a lot of power forward, as this team doesn't really have a great backup power forward. That's pretty much Juancho Hernan-Gomez. And then Jeremy Grant, I think, will end up starting at small forward for them, but he would be a great backup power forward if that's how it goes. I think he can get a minimum, at minimum 20 minutes a game. I think that's the baseline that he's going to get. Towards the end of the season, or if he really struggles, that might not be the case, because Denver is a playoff team. They're a higher seeded playoff team, a borderline contender depending on how you feel about Nikola Jokic. I'm personally very high on him, so they're not going to take a lot of risks in terms of just giving Porter the ball and just letting him take over the offense, especially in the Western Conference, where the difference of 3 games can be the difference between the 1st seed and the 9th seed. So Porter, he's gonna get opportunity, but he's probably gonna be on a little bit of a leash. So in order for him to win Rookie of the Year, he's going to need to be better than 20 minutes a game. He's going to need to impress Denver's coaching staff and fit in well enough with the team and lead to enough wins to the point where he's able to get to 28 minutes a game. But when you look at Porter's baseline skill set, of course he's going to fit well within Denver's system, presuming he doesn't try to do any isolation bullshit too much. Him with Nikola Jokic is an amazing pairing. Here you have this 6'10" combo forward who is extremely athletic, can create shots for himself, but he's also a damn good shooter. So he can space the floor, he can cut to the basket. I think he can do a lot of how Gary Harris worked with Jokic 2 seasons ago, where he was, doing handoff plays, cutting back door, coming off of a screen with Jokic at the top of the key. He's going to be able to find opportunities to score with Jokic. That's just the kind of playmaker that he is, and that's kind of the system that Denver runs. They like shooting guys, and they like guys that are good at moving off of ball. And if Michael Porter Jr. can fit well into that, he should probably be able to get to 10 points per game in 20 minutes just by existing. So everything else comes down to his ability to create offense as he is right now. Of course, he looked good in his first preseason game, but that's not necessarily an indicator of the fact that he's going to look good for the regular season. So how good do I think his isolation or one-on-one scoring ability can be? Well, his ball handling has been a thing that's been questioned about him. I don't really see it being a huge issue. By no means is he Kyrie Irving, but I think he's one of those guys, like, obviously I'm not comparing him to Michael Jordan, but one of the things with MJ was his ball handling. Like, he wasn't breaking people's ankles, but he also wasn't really losing the ball. Same thing goes for LeBron James. Maybe I'd put him in the, I don't know, vein of Mike Conley, where, like, he's not doing anything flashy, but he's not making mistakes with the dribble all that much. Granted, I didn't see him play in high school outside of highlights, because who the fuck is going to watch a high school basketball game voluntarily outside of highlights? And then he barely played in college. But I don't see it, at least from what I have watched with him. His ball handling seems solid. Maybe he is a little too low with it, but that's about it. But in terms of creation, he's tall and he can shoot. His ball handling is enough to get him into the right spots. So I think he could get to maybe 6 points a game from his ability to score one-on-one. So I think, I don't know, this might be being overly ambitious. Let's say he can get to 8 points from fitting within the system, and then 5 from his own creating ability, and that equals out to 13 points in 20 minutes. If he's not a disaster defensively, which could be a problem, and he shoots pretty efficiently, and Denver evaluates the way he's playing as actually contributing to winning basketball, then I do think there is a real chance that he can become a starter and get to like 24 to maybe even 30 minutes a game. In that instance, I think Porter could very well average like 17 points a game. I don't think that's crazy. That's just the kind of scorer that he is. He's also, not a lot of competition in rebounding. Jokic gets 10. Paul Millsap probably gets you 6 or 7. And then after that, their wings and guards are not good rebounders. So I think he could get to like 6 to 7 rebounds a game. Probably just playing within Denver's pass-heavy system, he could get to like 4 assists. So I think 17, 6, and 4 on like, 46, 35, 81 shooting splits, something like that. I have no idea how good his free throw shooting is, so I just went with pretty much average for a decent shooter. So how would that match versus his potential competition, or really his competition? I only say potential for RJ Barrett, because I really don't think he's going to be that great. But that's a whole topic for a whole other video that I'm probably never going to do. But Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, and RJ Barrett are pretty much the only competitors for this award for Michael Porter Jr. After that, I don't think anyone else has the right opportunity to actually have enough of an impact or enough of a box score season to get up there, if you know what I mean. DeAndre Hunter is not gonna, outdo Zion for damn sure. Not gonna outdo Morant. Same goes for Cameron Reddish. Kobe White's gonna be coming off of the bench and not being anywhere close to a first option. Jarrett Culver's probably gonna be used a good bit in Minnesota, but I don't think he's gonna put up Rookie of the Year numbers. Darius Garland, I just think that fit with Colin Sexton's gonna be too awkward. Jackson Hayes isn't gonna get enough minutes. Rui Hachimura, I don't think he's gonna be on people's radars, honestly, just because of he's a Washington Wizard. Tyler Hero, if he just, suddenly became the Devin Booker of this draft class, maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it, at least not this early. So let's look at the core 2 and kind of 3 guys that can compete with Michael Porter. Zion, well, after he put up 29 points on 12 for 13 shooting versus my Bulls, I'm pretty confident he's going to be a good player. He's looked very impressive in the preseason. He hasn't even looked like it's been any different than college or high school basketball for him. I mean, the dude's gone from being the tallest guy in the court to average sized, and he still just freights through everybody. It's quite insane. I understand that 285 is far from the average height, I understand that 285 is far from the average weight, even though he's the average height, but good lord does he know how to use that size. He just bumps dudes off of him so quick. He gets easy layups just off of the fact that he's able to overpower people. He's definitely going to be getting plenty of opportunity in New Orleans. I would honestly make him the first option immediately. Get him in as many pick and rolls as possible. Have him isolate at the top of the key and just blow by guys and dunk all over them. He's also a really underrated passer. I think he can be a 5 to 6 assist game guy in the near future. Also a good rebounder. If I had to make a prediction for his stat line this year, I would probably say like 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and he'd shoot like 54%. Not gonna bother predicting three-pointer free throw percentages. Now, as for Ja Morant, he had 10 assists in his first preseason game, and really the first game we've seen him play since being drafted because he missed all of Summer League. Did not score particularly well, but also was not really that aggressive. He was focusing on playmaking. Morant, I think this year will probably average like 15, 16 points, 6 to 8 assists, and probably shoot like 43% from the field and 33% from three. His efficiency obviously will not be up there with Zion's. The playmaking will be really good, and he also can be a good defensive player. But I don't think his scoring will be able to compete with Zion or Michael Porter Jr. if he gets the opportunity that I think he can get. Now with RJ Barrett, I honestly just think RJ Barrett's not that good. I've heard people say that he's just a taller Dennis Smith Jr., and I pretty much agree with that. He's a really athletic guy who has a great playmaking ability but doesn't know how to use it. Half of the time he just ignores the fact that he has a guy open. Takes way too many contested mid-range shots. Takes a lot of inefficient shots in general. He's very athletic. He has a lot of size. He could be a good defensive player. But as of right now, I just don't see him being in the Rookie of the Year race. I also think the Knicks are going to be better than people expect, and that's not a compliment on RJ. I just think he's not going to get the opportunity that many Knicks fans probably believe he's going to get. I could see Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, maybe even Marcus Morris getting more shots per game than RJ does. Or if that's not the case, it's just going to be because RJ's shooting way too damn much, and the Knicks are letting him do it because it's the Knicks. So I don't think RJ Barrett is a threat to Michael Porter Jr. I think as long as he does what I think he can do and he stays healthy, he'll definitely be in the top 3 discussion in this race. So how do I think Michael Porter would contrast with these guys as rookie years? Well, Porter could get the advantage from those, well, frankly, dumb people out there who just hate on every player who doesn't have a jump shot, because MPJ has the best jump shot of anybody that I've mentioned, but I think he'll put up about the same points as Zion, but he won't have those rebounds, and he won't. I would say the efficiency will balance out by the fact that he's a shooter and Zion is not, but you can also credit probably some of Michael's scoring that's going to happen to the system he plays in. So there's also that. I think there's a good chance that he has a better year than Ja Morant, but I also think there's a chance that Ja Morant has like a Damian Lillard level rookie season where he's just like, holy shit, this guy is already a star. Wouldn't bet on it, but I also wouldn't bet against it necessarily. I think it's definitely plausible. But yeah, if I had to make a prediction, I think he ends up 3rd in the Rookie of the Year race, probably a close second to Ja Morant. I think he'll average like 15 to 17 points this year on decent efficiency. provided that Denver gives him the right opportunity and he makes the best of that opportunity and, of course, stays healthy. So that is the end of this video. Please let me know what you think about the Rookie of the Year race this year. It should definitely be an interesting one unless Zion just completely takes the cake, which is definitely within the realm of possibility. But that's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.